Our victim, the owner of the jewelry store, Mr. Diamond, has been murdered. Based on the crime scene, it looks like the perpetrator was in a hurry. Based on our security cameras, it looks like there's 4 suspects. There's Susie Diamond, Mr. Diamond's stepdaughter, Jenna Waite, the former employee of Mr. Diamond, Jeremy Gold, Mr. Diamond's business rival, Sadie Diamond, his wife. But which one of these could it have been? This looks like it could be some useful DNA evidence. Better go send it to the crime lab.
PCR is used to amplify the DNA. The results are visualized using gel electrophoresis. Gel electrophoresis is a technique used to separate DNA fragments according to their size. DNA is loaded into the wells, as shown here, at one end of the gel. An electrical charge will then run through the gel. Since DNA is negatively charged, it will move towards the positive side. The DNA fragments have the same charge per mass, so the smaller fragments will move faster through the gel than the larger ones. Based on the evidence we found at the crime, we can match it with the same frequencies of our suspects, and if they're the same, then we'll find our criminal. Here's the gel electrophoresis for our suspects. The bands at the top indicate the wells. Now let's compare the bands made by the evidence with those of the suspects. Let's look at locus 1 first. As we can see, suspect 1 does not share any bands with the bands at the evidence, so Susie is innocent. Suspect 2, Jenna, the ex-employee, matches both the bands of the evidence, so she is one of our prime suspects. Suspect 3, Mr. Gold's DNA, also matches the DNA bands of the evidence, so he is another prime suspect. Mrs. Diamond only matches one band, but she has to match both to be considered a prime suspect, so she is innocent. At locus 2, Susie matches both of the bands with the evidence. However, since she didn't match bands with the evidence at the first locus, she is innocent. Remember, our criminal has to match at both loci. Jenna, the ex-employee's DNA's bands also match with the bands of the evidence, so she remains a suspect. Suspect 3, Mr. Gold, does not match any bands at locus 2, even though he did match at locus 1, so he is innocent. Suspect 4, Mrs. Diamond, only matches with one band, so she is innocent as well. Looking at both loci, Suspect 2's bands match the evidence found at the scene of crime. That means Jenna, the ex-employee, was the perpetrator after all. But I want to make sure Mrs. Diamond is actually Susie's mom. Looking at locus 1, we can see that Susie shares one band with Mrs. Diamond at the top. At the second locus, we can see that Susie shares one band with Mrs. Diamond as well. This means that Mrs. Diamond is Susie's mom. This also makes sense since half of our genetic composition is from the mother.
But why did you do it? Because I wanted revenge. Well, it looks like you're going to jail for a very long time.